Oh my God. All right. I can already hear people complaining about the fact that I am selling my copy of Twilight Imperium. Not something I thought I'd ever say, but yes, I am selling this. And not only is it the Twilight Imperium TI4 copy that I'm selling, but I'm actually including the Legacy of Kings expansion or Prophecy of Kings expansion in here as well. I wanted to talk about different reasons why someone might sell their games. So I'm going to talk why I'm selling TI, and then I've got a couple other games here that I'm selling and why I'm choosing to get rid of them. I'll also mention some other smaller games that I'm choosing to give away to a local convention group and why I'm giving those away instead of selling them. So first starting with TI. I love Twilight Imperium. I have played 4th edition somewhere around 15 times. I was very lucky for like a year to have a friend group that played literally once a month, got to meet and play. That was pre having a child. And so I've played a lot of TI. It is a fun game. It is quite a haul to play. You know, we played anywhere from 5 players to 8 players every time we played. Fantastic, epic game. However, my friend, who I've played every single game with, has a copy of TI, has Prophecy of Kings expansion, and has 3D inserts, has a bunch of extra stuff to go with it to make the game better. And we've only played this copy ever once. That's why I'm not keeping it anymore. I love TI, but I don't need this copy. So we're just going to play with the other Twilight Imperium copy within my playgroup, and this one's going to go to somebody else who really would like it and would benefit from getting TI. So there's not really much of a reason, especially for big event games like this, to have multiple copies within one friend group or one game group, because in the end, you're never going to use those 2 copies at once. Double Twilight Imperium does not sound like a good time. So that's TI. Other games that I am selling, I'm going to start from the top here with Khôra, Rise of an Empire. We're going to move TI out of the way here a little bit. So Khôra was one that I bought a little bit on an impulse. This was when I not first started getting into games, but really was interested more in Euro games. And this seemed like a great one. It just never got to the table because other games always superseded it. My wife and I started a system of putting these little tags, little sticky note tags, on our games. And once a year, if that sticky note tag is still on there, it means we haven't played it in a year. And this one's been on there for longer than 1 year. Meaning I have never played this game, and I've had it for like at least 3. So 3 years not playing a game, and it's not a huge event game. It doesn't require specific parameters. It's got to go. The next one I want to bring up is actually a game that I quite enjoy, but I'm also letting go on from my collection. So this is Revive. I really enjoyed the exploration aspect. I really enjoyed the engine building that you do with the energy system, but my playgroup did not find it memorable and didn't love it. So in the end, I'm not going to play this solo, to be honest, and the people who I play with don't love it, so it's not going to get to the table, and I want other people to get the chance to play it instead of letting it sit on my shelf. I don't need to keep this game to remind myself that I like this game. If I got a chance to play with other folks in the future, I totally would, but it's out for now. Then we've got this big boy. Oh, God. Now, this is one you may not recognize, and that's probably for a reason. It was from a mid-sized Kickstarter. This is Deep Shelf. The premise was pretty cool. It is a Euro game about extracting resources from the bottom of the ocean, kind of as society is collapsing. You're getting the last bit of resources that you can from the bottom of the ocean because there's nothing left anywhere else. It's cool in practice. In actual play, the rules are incredibly fiddly and hard to follow. And my wife and I just didn't have a good time. I couldn't envision myself playing this with 4. That first impression in games really does matter, especially when you are time limited. And so the first impression of this game was it's just a little too much. Even though we like it, it's going to have to find a new home. So Kickstarter, not delivering, I think is the lesson on this one. And not buying into the hype, letting a game come out first, unless you've previewed it, played it before, or really are invested in that game, such as March of the Ants, which I have now played and really enjoyed, and we'll talk about more later. But Kickstarter, not always working out, is the lesson for this guy. I don't know if these are out of frame, but we're just gonna push them over a little bit. Okay. And the last one here, some people may recognize from Chip Theory Games. This is, I'm not gonna show it all the way up because I don't want everything to fall, but this is Cloudspire. Cloudspire is an a MOBA-inspired board game. There's been a couple of games that have tried to do MOBAs. It's also kind of tower defense-y. And I love MOBAs. I mentioned it in some previous videos, specifically Dota. I mean, even before that, I played League when it was in beta. I played some Heroes of the Storm with friends as well, so I'm very familiar with the genre. I have many thousands of hours in it. This does not capture that feeling. Again, it's got a lot of rules. It's a very deep game, and I've played it once. It was fun, but it doesn't capture the feeling I'm looking for. It was too much rules overhead for it to be enjoyable for me, because you're not really getting like a thematic experience. If I'm going to play 1 versus 1 and we're going to sit down for like 5 hours and play a game, I want to play something epic, like Lord of the Rings War for the Ring, right? That's something I want to sit down and play and be able to tell a story about that 5-hour game that we played together. So Cloudspire, not my cup of tea, mostly because I don't think it evokes the feelings that I wanted it to evoke, and so it's going to go to somebody else, hopefully, that will enjoy it. I also just don't love the fact that there's so much plastic in this box. This thing is so heavy. TI is less heavy than Cloudspire, which is saying something. So those are 4 or 5 games, I should say, that I am choosing to sell. I think all board game players should consider selling some games in their collection, whether it's because other folks have that game, you've played it too many times and you want to let it go, it didn't click for you, you've never played it, or it's just not the vibe, right? So there's a lot of reasons why you might want to sell games. Lets other people have a chance to play them, gives them a second life instead of just collecting dust on your shelf. You want to keep the games that you get to play regularly, and other things, they can move on. Now let me show you some of the games that I've chosen to get rid of, but not actually sell. Okay. Ooh, see, I just lugged all those games back upstairs and I'm like already out of breath. There's so much stuff in all those boxes. So these games are ones that I'm choosing to give away. Number one reason is they're not really gonna I'm not gonna make money selling them. They're gonna be worth maybe $5-10 each. Some of them just are undesirable, or there's not really a market for them. And instead of wasting my time posting them online, trying to sell them, trying to ship them, I'm just gonna let them move on to somebody else. We have Keyforge, the starter set, plus 2 decks. If someone is into Keyforge, I'd love to let them get that. I think it'd be great for kids who are fans of trading card games to give a shot. Legend of the Five Rings, never tried it. I don't even know how I got this, but I do, and now I don't want it anymore. Samurai Garden is a dexterity card game, and that's just not my jam. The only like dexterity card game with slapping that I want is ERS, which is just a traditional card game with a regular deck of cards. Gear World is Dudes on a Map game that I have never and will never play, so it is going on. Rain is something I think I purchased at like Target for, I don't know, $15 because I saw Battle Royale and I thought it'd be fun, and it's not. It's also got some like goofy minis. It's more of a toy. I think kids might like it, either just as a toy or maybe actually playing the game. Miller Zoo, which, yeah, you can't really see. I'm actually going to just get rid of this game. It has some like legacy light elements, but it's all recyclable. It was a cool game of taking care of a zoo collaboratively with some fun challenges along the way, but it's time for that to go. It's run its course, and we got a lot of fun out of it. And the last one is Dungeon. Played this once with some friends. It was a fun experience, but nothing to write home about, and purchased it for like $15. I'm not going to get any money out of it. So I'm going to pass that along to somebody who might like it. Again, I think it'd be great for a family where you've got some young nerds who are looking to try out a cool board game experience. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be editing videos a little more in the future. I've just reinstalled my editing software and just have to kind of get used to how that works once again, so I won't always be a talking head here. I've got some other video ideas in the future for what I would like to do for things that are more comprehensive. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.